Hello, Raptors fans, and welcome back to the Raptors Report podcast. I'm your host, Julian, and sitting next to me, as always, is co-host Steve, aka Raptors Shack. We're here. We're ready to discuss the Raptors, and I think it's a fantastic time to discuss Raptors basketball because as of right now, the Toronto Raptors are rolling. They have won 8 games in a row, and I don't know. More than that, if you just want to ignore the loss against the Philadelphia 76ers, like they are on a long streak of winning games and looking very solid. So we have a good show for you guys today, as you would expect from two accounts that are covering the Raptors full time. We've got a lot of stuff to discuss about the Toronto Raptors because they are so good. How you doing, Steve?
I'm doing great, man. We're all flying high. Hope the dream never dies and we win the rest. I saw cleaning the glass, they had some like kind of projection type metrics, and they had the Raptors sitting in at 61 current projected wins based on how everything's trending, which would be insane.
61
obviously.
wins would be like I don't even know if I'd be able to contain myself. I'd probably have some kind of injunction against me. The people in my neighborhood would call the police.
Yeah.
I'd be committed, all that good stuff. But we got a really good show for you guys today. Let me tell you what's on the docket. So number one, we're going to be talking about the Toronto Raptors win streak. We're going to be discussing and talking about when is it going to end? When's it going to stop? We'll be looking at some of the upcoming dates and give our best guesses on when the Raptors streak will end. Then we are going to talk about the NBA Cup, because as of right now, the Toronto Raptors are the only team in the NBA to have clinched the passage through the group stage and entry into the elimination round. So that's pretty exciting. We'll take a look at that. We'll take a look at some of the other teams that they might match up against in the Cup. After that, we got to talk Scotty Barnes versus Evan Mobley. Of course, it's been a debate that's been raging on and on social media. I even made a video about it today, so if you haven't seen that, go check it out. But yeah, it has been a wild ride, so we're going to take a look at that. Then there's some housekeeping stuff. First of all, RJ Barrett has been injured. We'll give you some updates on that because there are some pretty pertinent updates. Then we're going to take a look back, because Steve and I made some pretty spicy takes before the season started. And we're going to take a look at those and see how they're going. See if, we're on track, whether we were way off base, all of that kind of stuff. And last but not least, we are going to sort of take a look at some of the predictions that were made before the season. And that's from the national media, and see how the Toronto Raptors have exceeded those expectations. So welcome. If you guys are tuning in for the first time, we're actually streaming on Twitter for the very first time. We got it to work. And so you guys are going to be able to witness us if you haven't already, and hear our amazing takes, take a look at our, handsome faces, and have our opinions on the Raptors stream into your ears. So Steve, without any further ado, let's talk about the Toronto Raptors win streak. Currently sits at 8. And we're going to take a look at when we think that's going to stop, whether it's ever going to stop. I don't know. I don't know what your take is. I might be a little bit more pessimistic than you. So we'll take a look at this. I'm just going to share the screen here of the upcoming schedule. And here we go. So if you take a look at this, let me see if I'm actually streaming this. I am. Okay, perfect. Yep. So what we have here are the 8 games in a row. And to be honest, I don't want to sound like a hater or anything like that, but there have been quite a few, I don't want to say gimmies because it's the NBA. There are no gimmies. Even teams people look at the Brooklyn Nets and they say this team is no good. They're 3-14. They're bums. Yeah. Even those teams, they have talent. They gave the Raptors a run for their money in that game. They have size. They can win. Oh God, what are these problems? they can win games. They beat the
Yeah.
Boston Celtics right before they beat or did not beat the Raptors. But, you know, it can happen even against the lowliest of opponents.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you, I don't think like this is going to be a trap game. The Indiana Pacers, I think they've got that one locked up.
Yeah.
Although Benedict Mathurin is back. And I think that Benedict Mathurin, like one of the problems with Benedict Mathurin is that he is thinking a lot about Benedict Mathurin.
Yeah.
And
It's
on
in a contract year, right?
Yeah, very
He
true.
wants the bag.
And on a team with Tyrese Halliburton and Pascal Siakam, you know, maybe you don't want all Benedict Mathurin all the time, but when your team is like ravaged by injuries and you have no other like, you know, star players like outside of him and Nembhard and Pascal, that is when you want a Benedict Mathurin. You want a guy who's just going to have zero conscience and put up a ton of shots. So, but I do think the Raptors win that one.
Yeah.
What do you think? The Hornets?
The Hornets, I mean, it's like we're going to have to deal with Con Knipple again, who is, in my opinion, running away with the Rookie of the Year award right now. Flag has been good. Obviously, VJ's slowing down. Con is just cooking. So we'll have to deal with him. I'm still not too worried about it. Like that last game was too close for comfort. It should have probably been an easier win, but the team is meshing more and more day by day. Ingram getting a bit healthier and a bit more explosive every day. And like, they're just putting it together more. So I feel like this will be more comfortable of a game. Those could be famous last words, but I'm just not too worried about it. Like LaMelo Ball was like invisible to me last game.
Yeah.
I didn't
until
notice.
The end. Like he had a couple of like sort of bailout threes that went in and but you're right.
Right. So I don't know. I'm not too concerned about
you're not too concerned. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I had to squeeze that one in. Go. I completely derailed your train of thought. I apologize.
It's okay. I'm not worried. I think they can push this win streak to 10. I think they can continue to ride the momentum, and I'm not worried about it getting to 10.
All right. Okay. Well, there you go. Not afraid of the Charlotte Hornets. So I think about it in terms of like percentages. So I think the Pacers game is like a 90-10 game. I think the Hornets is probably like either a 60-40 or a 70-30 for the Raptors. Then we get to the Knicks. So this is the one I'm going to just call it here. I know the Knicks haven't been fantastic this season. I know that Cat is experiencing some issues. I know that they've had injuries and stuff like that, but I don't know. It feels like they've been walking on air, and I'm just a doomer. I'm just a guy who's like the sort of Damocles is hanging over my head. At any moment it could fall and just kill this win streak. So I feel like at the first, it might even be good to get it out of the way after 10. Like you win 10 games in a row, just get it going.
Yeah, and I mean the Knicks, where they've struggled is away games, and this is in New York, right?
Right.
So that does not play to our benefit. It's nice that they could get to the round number of 10 before this happens, but I think it'll be. I'm assuming they don't get even more injury luck that they continue to get and have all these guys sit out, right? But isn't like OG already out? I don't remember if he came back yet, but
no, I know that that he has been sitting. I know that Brunson had an injury as well. Let's just take a quick look at what their current injury report is, and we can figure out if okay. So Anunoby hamstring, so that has been an issue for him for his career.
Yeah,
reevaluated in 2 weeks, and that was November 16th. Right now it's the 25th, so 2 weeks. He's probably still going to be out. Brunson not on the report either, but Mitchell Robinson day to day, he could be back as well. So
I mean, right away, I think that plays into their favor because
it's also a back-to-back.
Yeah.
Okay. That is a big deal. Right. So here's the issue is like, who are they going to play Yak against? I mean, you want him against the Hornets, against the Knicks.
Yeah.
But then the Hornets, like they've got Ryan Kalkbrenner, who's literally like a legit 7 foot whatever.
Yeah, one of the better shot blocking bigs in the league right now, despite the fact that Ingram dunked on him twice. He's actually one of the better shot blockers, right? So
yeah, they one of the dunks, the first dunk of the game, Jakob Poeltl was doing that Gortat screen where he was holding him underneath the basket to stop him from coming over. The second dunk was just Brandon Ingram being Brandon Ingram. But if you watch that game, like I did some like watching the film on it for each player. And Jakob Poeltl, basically what he was doing the entire game was just like boxing out or like grabbing onto Ryan Kalkbrenner so he couldn't do anything.
Right.
So that's going to be tough. I think that winning both of those games, that's a pretty difficult task. So
I mean, I would probably sit Yak for the first game, give Sandro more run, let him keep cooking. He's been playing great. Like he's obviously not going to contend too well with the size and stuff of Kalkbrenner, but they can play small ball. Like the Raps have done a good job playing small ball so far. So probably keep Yak for that matchup, because otherwise you're just going to get fried by Cat. Like that it would just be too easy for him. And where you want to win, like the way to win that Knicks matchup is to, limit Cat a little bit, and then probably run as much as you can through BI. If they're missing OG, they're going to have to kind of by committee try to defend the Raptors wings, which are like their strength, right? So RJ, I don't think will be back for that game either. Like he's kind of like day to day, so maybe he will by then, like if it's 3 games away or whatever. But still, I think you kind of try to play through Ingram as much as possible, and I would say you have to play Yak in that Knicks game if you're really trying to like.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like, are you optimistic or are you pessimistic?
Yeah.
The pessimist would say, like, let's play Yak for the Hornets game.
Yeah.
Because we can win that one.
To try to guarantee it more.
Let's guarantee that win. Let's get the 10th one and then sit him for the Knicks game. But here's the problem with that is that Mitchell Robinson, he's day to day. He's in and out. If he's healthy and Yak is not playing, I think the chances that they lose that game skyrocket, because he is an absolute monster on the boards, and he will kick the crap out of the Raptors. So
who already struggle with rebounding, right? So
and then so let's say that they waltz their way through here. They have the Trailblazers at home, and then the next one is the one that's kind of a little bit more difficult with the Lakers, who have been very good this season. There's this guy, I don't know, Luka Doncic. He was traded from the Mavs last year to the Lakers. He's been very good for them. Do you remember that trade at all?
I'm not really familiar with that much. I don't pay attention to small market teams.
Yeah, true.
But like even like Austin Reeves has just been
he's been amazing.
He's been pretty insane, right? So obviously tough matchups all over the place with that Lakers game. I
think they take it against the Blazers, but then the Lakers is going to be tough. Yeah, I think it's ending somewhere around here.
Yeah.
And
but that's a home stretch after that Knicks game, right?
So it is a big home stretch.
5 games home stretch
with only one that looks like really tough.
Yeah.
The Celtics, I have PTSD about the Celtics, and I just expect a loss so that I don't feel bad when it happens. And that's also a matinee game.
And there's been like a couple year-long beef between Joe Mazzulla and Darko.
Do you know he's so good? Do you remember the first year? I think it was the first year Darko was here, and Mazzulla. I maybe it was the second year, but Mazzulla called a timeout like in a blowout at the end of the game so that he could run like some play or something like that. Darko was so pissed. He was like, "What the hell are you doing?"
And it's like Joe Mazzulla is ready to jujitsu anybody at any moment, so he was just down. So that's kind of a funny wrinkle to this.
I want Darko, if it becomes a blowout, he's got to return the favor. He has to return the favor. He's got to go and call a timeout with like 2 seconds left on the clock. Call 2 seconds and then practice an inbounds play.
Yeah, they've been one of the best sideline out of bounds teams in the league, right? So yeah, get the reps in, go for it. I
Of
think
course.
like
Hey, what? I can call a timeout at 2 minutes, 2 seconds. Why not?
why not? I can't remember what game it was, but Darko still had the starters in after they had pulled, like it was a blowout, and we
Yeah.
still had our starters in after they had long since pulled their bench, and then Darko realized and he went over and apologized to their coach. I think it might have been maybe it was the Pacers game or something, but
Oh, yeah, there was the Pacers game where they were doing hack a yak.
yeah, and I just remember he went over to the other coach and he apologized. He was like, "Yo, my bad. I should have taken these guys out."
Yeah, I noticed that. I think it was the Pacers because yeah, Carlisle was like trying to send a message like we were up by like 15, and so they started hack a yakking. Yeah. Okay, so that was pretty easy. I mean, this isn't like one of those talking head shows where they have to disagree with one another. We're both in agreement. It's probably going to be this Knicks game, or if they get past that, maybe the Lakers.
Yeah, that Knicks game should probably be their hardest, like their toughest matchup so far, right? Like what probably before that it was the Sixers game that they won. So
yeah,
it's always hard to contain Brunson, like and especially when the Raptors are not getting the benefit of the whistles. Like I could see Brunson getting 15 free throw attempts
yeah. So you
in a
mean
game
every
like
game
this.
then, when they're
Yeah,
not getting the benefit of the whistle? Yeah,
exactly. So I mean, like last night when they finally started getting free throws anyway, they were missing them anyway. So
yeah, exactly. They were so confused, but they were like, "Wait a second,
yeah,
we're leading in free throw attempts," and they
they're
got
just gonna
confused and missed all their
let me
shots.
shoot from this line without anybody stopping me. What the heck?
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, we are done with that. But there were some stats you said, like you had some
Yeah,
stats about the.
just given a kind of an update on how they're doing, right? So they have the sixth best offense, and they now have the second best half court offense. They were first before a game or two ago, but now they're the second best half court offense, which
Who's number one? Do you know?
I don't know.
You don't know. I'm gonna guess the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Possibly maybe that or like the Rockets or something.
Yeah, could be.
But I mean, it seems insane for them to have a good half court offense for once, so that's pretty awesome. Seventh best defensive rating, and they have the second best defense in the last 13 games. So
That is really good.
And like we know how awful they started out on defense for the beginning of the year, and that's dragging them back. So without that kind of weird start to the season, they're like a top 5 defense, which is what we were really hoping before the season. And then the wheels fell off immediately, and we're like, what is happening? They also lead the NBA in fast break points with 20.9 a game, which is very Pacers like. I was thinking the other day, I was like, we are really kind of trying to be the new Pacers, which is working well. But it's crazy to have such a good transition offense and such a good half court offense. That's really great. 32.3 points in third quarters, which is second in the NBA.
I love that. That just shows that, like, I think that's something that you could use for some Darko propaganda. We'll get to that.
Exactly.
We'll
and then 6-2 in clutch games, which is tied for fourth best, which is, I can't remember before the season, the last time they were winning clutch games apart from that Jacoby Walter game winner, right? So
the buzzer beater,
yeah. So all of those stats come from Kirthika on Twitter.
Thank
she's
you,
always
Kirthika.
She's always pulling deep stats out. So I mean, like, everything is looking good. Like, nothing's looking too fugazi, and nothing's looking too like, oh, well, they're just maxing out this, or they're just running their guys into the ground,
or they're too hot from three. Like, that's one of the ways that you can tell that a team is kind of like the 76ers and the Bulls. Like the 76ers, somebody showed a stat where it's like shots and like openness of shots versus shooting percentage. The Sixers are like way like in the stratosphere. And of course they have a guy who can make those kinds of shots in Maxey, but at the same time, like, it's kind of like, in those old Looney Tunes cartoons when Wile E. Coyote would run off of a cliff and then he doesn't realize that he should be falling until he looks down. Like, that's what happens sometimes when you're just on one of those unsustainable hot streaks and it's carrying you. And it doesn't look like that's what's happening with the Raptors at all. So
no, honestly,
with that.
Yeah, it's been great. And like, They got a lot of guys shooting very well off the bench. They've got a couple, like Scotty's still hanging on to a 40% from three, even though he had a couple of bad games shooting. Like, stuff's hanging on.
Well, the thing about Scotty Barnes is that he is managing his shot attempt so much better this season. Like last season, he would go 0 for 8. Like he would just take he'd pull up and he'd be like, it's Scotty time.
Yeah.
And jack up a 3. It
2 seconds into the clock.
And then he'd do it again and again. But this season, because it was really just what they were asking him to do. They were like, you got to cook here. It's your time. You got to go. You got to carry things. And a lot of the time, if you can't create, you have to settle, right? And so he was settling. This season, he doesn't have to do that. So he can test whether he's hot or not. Like there's games like the other night, he went 3 for 4, where he was like, I'm hot. Shoot the 3. And then I think he missed his last shot and he was like, okay, that's enough of that.
I'm good.
Get inside there. So I love the approach that he's taken this season.
Which I figured wouldn't, like, I expected his 3-point to improve this year, because I was like, he's not going to go 1 for 12 against a team. He's not going to do that anymore because they know they're trying to win. Whereas like last season, he would have like 2 or 3 games where he would like, oh, shoot 2 for 3. Okay, cool. He's kind of dragging his percentage back up. And then he would just shoot for like 1 for 10, 1 for 12.
Like clip.
Exactly.
It's like the, have you seen Pulp Fiction? When the guy bursts into the room at the beginning and just fires the gun and misses every single shot. Yeah. That was what it was like in a lot of games. There was one game last season where I was like, oh my God, Scotty, can you stop taking these shots? But it was like one of his nights where he was like, just randomly hot. And he was like 5 of 7 from 3 before halftime and just made me look like an idiot. And it's not hard, but he did it. Yeah. So maybe we'll skip over the cup contenders and we'll push that over to the next point. Why don't we segue into Scotty versus Mobley? So I made a video about this, as I said, Scotty versus Evan Mobley. It has been like the debate that has been raging ever since Scotty Barnes stole Evan Mobley's Rookie of the Year award. And I noted, because like I knew that Scotty Barnes was like an odd year merchant, where it like year 1 Rookie of the Year, year 3 All-Star, year 5 like he's doing some stuff this year that is like seriously impressive. And then the year 2 and year 4 were not very good. Those were Mobley's years.
That's Mobley, he's the other way.
He's the even guy. So that's in year 2, he got the all defense team nod. And then in year 4, he got the, all the awards, the All-Star, the DPOY, the all NBA teams and stuff like that. So it's been a back and forth battle. And a lot of the comments on the video were saying like, it's never been a contest. Or it's like, I said, could Scotty have passed Evan Mobley? And one comment was, it's like, no, he hasn't passed him because he's never been behind. And I was like, that is pretty, that was a bar, but like, I don't know if that's true or not. Like last season was really good from Mobley and it was not very good from Scotty. So
it's the same sentiment that Cavs fans will say, that Mobley was never behind Scotty, right? Like it's like people are not being,
you're backing up your guy.
You're not being fully like based in logic based out of it, right? And I'm somebody who's pretty critical of Mobley. I've watched him. I've tried to watch him and see a top 15 player that people are trying to sell me, and I do not see it. I do not see baby KG. I do not see that kind of stuff. I see a very, very good player, and a player who is going to lead to wins and could be a main part on a championship roster. Definitely, totally. But I just think that they get carried away with some of the praise, and he has, excellent PR compared to some of the other guys in his draft class.
Yeah, amazing PR. And I think part of it is because like he got a big boost by the Rockets taking Jalen Green ahead of him. So he was always compared to this guy who sucks. He was always like, Like Jalen Green would put up like the stinkiest stat line
Yeah.
you've ever seen, like a
Tour date, absolute
like
tour
a
date. Just
1 for 15
yeah.
brick fest, and the Rockets would lose like horribly, and then people would be like, "Oh my god, can you believe they took this guy over Evan Mobley?"
Yeah.
Who's like obviously a good player, but like he was like getting this really favorable comparison. So I thought that was that's kind of funny. Like it's kind of like being born on third base or whatever.
Yeah.
You're getting all this extra attention just totally out of your control. Like you didn't do anything. You were just drafted behind this other guy who happens to suck.
Yeah. It creates a low bar. But like, okay, so you made a video about it. So I'd like to hear some of your thoughts on the Scotty Mobley debate.
Okay, well, I mean, obviously I discussed the like the odd year stuff. This season has been like I came into this season. Of course, I've always been high on Scotty Barnes. I've never been one of the Scotty Barnes haters in the fan base because there are a couple. Like there are a couple of people. I think a lot of the hate came from there's like the people who are huge fans of Scotty Barnes who like kind of like slighted Siakam.
Yeah.
And those people took that personally because they were fans of Siakam.
Yeah.
And so when Scotty Barnes, it was his show and it was last season and the team wasn't performing up to expectations, they would kind of come out of the woodwork and say like, haha, he's not as good. I told you it's hard to be a blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And so there was that internal rift, like competing between the two of them. But like when it comes to him versus Mobley, I've always felt that Scotty Barnes had like more potential.
Yep.
And like, of course, like I'm a homer. I'm not going to ignore that. Like I have my own biases. I want the team to succeed. I'm high on our players and all of that good stuff. But when I watch him play, I see a guy who can do anything. Yep. I see a guy who like, of course he has strengths and weaknesses like all players. And the role that he was thrust into last season where he's like the main guy and he has to do all of the heavy lifting on the offensive end. I don't think his game is tailor-made to that. But when it comes to like what a player can do on the basketball court, I don't see a ton of limitations for him. Yeah. I think he can grow in so many different areas and do so many things on the court. Like if you need a bucket, he can get you a bucket. If you know, you need somebody to help run your offense, he's going to be that guy. If you need a guy to help out around the basket and like get rebounds, blocks, play help defense, all that stuff, the glue guy stuff, he's going to do that. He's going to do so many, he's going to impact the game in so many different ways. Mm-hmm. And that is like Mobley, no doubt about it. Like he's a two-way player. Yep. He has excellent rim defense. Like he's one of the best rim defenders in the NBA, but he is a little limited. Like you can't, he's kind of like Scotty in that I don't think you don't want to play him long-term at the 5. They're not big enough to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, they're in different ways. Like Mobley's just too slight and Scotty's not tall enough. Yeah. But yeah, exactly, right? Like you can't really put either of them long term there. But Mobley, less versatile. He's gonna be like 4 is his best option. He can play a bit of 3 if you're going super huge, but they just don't do that. Yeah, right. Like there's that aspect. But my kind of thing was like, at least when I would debate this with Cavs fans and stuff, I'm like, you're not going to argue that Emmanuel Quickley and RJ are better guards than Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell, right? Nobody's going to argue that. So if you're telling me that if you put our guards that you think suck, which I don't agree, Emmanuel Quickley and RJ don't suck, but they think they do. And if you gave Evan Mobley those 2 guards to be the ones giving him, which he was a 73% assisted makes before last season. He was always assisted because that's how they run their offense. That's not a slight to him. Just having him in the dunker spot is easy offense. It's great. But if you weaken the guards that he's with, you don't give him 2 all-star level guards, he's going to produce the same. And if you gave those all-NBA and all-star guards to Scotty Barnes, he's not going to improve. So I always disliked kind of, it's just not an easy comp to make when their teams were in such different places, right? Like I thought it was kind of a cheap to be like, oh, well, Mobley is so much more efficient. I'm like, yeah, he's in the dunker spot and he's dunking everything.
Fourth option or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's in the dunker spot, and also like the pick and roll, like there are definitely ways that he is being used so that his efficiency is maximized. If you're the roll man in the pick and roll, or as you said, in the dunker spot, you're the points that you're like, obviously there's some craft there. I'm not trying to take away the fact that he's an efficient scorer and he can do stuff in that spot. Touch. He's got good touch. He's got a lot of good things going for him. But in terms of like creating baskets, you're not doing the lion's share of the work. You're being not spoon-fed. That's too insulting. But you are the beneficiary of other people's creation. You are getting a high percentage look because you are catching the ball going to the basket, right? You didn't have to set up the move in order to get the ball going to the basket, if you catch my meaning. That is like what NBA offense is about, is getting players into positions to get their best shot off. And the problem is that without Garland, like they have Donovan Mitchell, and he's a good player, and he's a guy who can like set up teammates, especially drive and kicks. That's how he gets a lot of his assists. But in terms of running an offense, like Darius Garland is the point guard there. And man, does he ever make life so much easier for Evan Mobley. Like the difference between a healthy Garland, like he hasn't been really that healthy this season, and no healthy Garland. Like you're talking about an all-star Mobley versus a guy like whatever the hell he's doing this season. He can't even shoot free throws without Darius Garland. Okay, that's enough slander. I don't want to slander him too much, but he has been disappointing.
Which, like, honestly, like it's interesting because I think Cavs fans and Raptors fans have a similar experience of watching the other player, because not like this game, Scotty had a good game, but was it the game before, whatever, where he had like almost 30, whatever, he played really, really well, right?
Yeah.
Evan Mobley's other game on Halloween, he played really, really well, right? So we see one great game, one poor game, one middle game, right? Like that's what we all see. So when we see the great game, we go, oh, this guy. But then when they have the bad game, we go, what do they see in this guy? This guy sucks, right? Yeah, so like both fan bases are doing the same thing. But the thing that kind of stunned me about Mobley last night was Ingram was cooking, and you are the DPOY, the defending DPOY. And maybe it's scheme, maybe the coach is not letting him do it. But do you remember when Kawhi said, get out of my fucking way, give me Giannis? Right? That is what a defensive leader does. And I was like watching this game and I'm like, I am waiting for Mobley to say, get out of the way, Tomlin, get out of the way. Like they had, what's his name? Proctor. They had Tyrese Proctor on him, who's a rookie guard on Ingram. And I'm like, he's frying him. Like, help your guys. And
I think Mobley was on him for like 2 possessions or something. He did a good job when he was on him for 2 possessions.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, if you can defend him, him, right? So that was like a little shocking to me. And I was like,
that's where the what's it called? The KG comparisons break down. Yeah. KG was like, I didn't personally like the guy very much because he was kind of a dick. I like him more now that he's retired. He seems like he's having a lot more fun. When he was playing, he seemed like a huge dick who did not enjoy playing basketball. Yeah. But one of the things about him is that he was just like an animal when he got into the game. He was literally get down on all fours and like bark at people. He was like crazy. He would not let that kind of stuff happen if you weren't living up to his defensive, what he had in mind for defense. He'd let you know, and then maybe he would take your place, like exactly what you're saying. Ingram is going off. Yo, dog, I got to get on this guy. I gotta make this guy work. So I totally get that.
And instead he's covering Scotty. Like he's just slightly sagged off of Scotty. And I'm like, I get it. This is the matchup, right? Like you guys are matching up with each other back and forth. And, he's probably high on the scouting report, and you don't want to just give him free cuts. And you probably don't want like somebody like Tomlin on him easy, but look at the guy who's got the hot hand, and look at the fact that Scotty is feeding that hot hand and not really trying to attack the basket that much. So that was a little surprising. And it's like, I don't know if it's confidence or if it is just scheme. Like Phoenix points out, it is scheme. You pull a big away from the paint and it opens it up too much. But
you got to try something. I mean, the thing was is that it was like Brandon Ingram was going nuclear.
Yeah.
You got to make other guys work. Like a lot of the time, I get the thinking is that, you know, they don't have Allen. They got to keep a big in the paint. They got to make sure that they're protecting the basket so that they don't open up other things. But it felt like they had tried that and it didn't work, and you got to switch it up. So, and he did have success guarding Brandon Ingram. So, okay. This, I think this is like a good time to go and talk about the NBA Cup. So there were some comments here talking about the Cup. We're going to break down kind of what is going on with the NBA Cup, because the Toronto Raptors, as I mentioned previously, are one of the only teams, actually the only team that has clinched a passage into the knockout stage. So as you can say, there's a little X next to the Raptors name, and that means that they've clinched. The Pacers have reverse clinched. They are out. They are got the little O there, I guess. And so let's look at some of the other teams here. Orlando is 3-0, so it's looking pretty good for them. They have a differential of plus 37, but they're also competing against the Detroit Pistons, who are also undefeated. So they're on a collision course. You play everybody in your group once. So pretty much whoever wins the head-to-head there is going to advance. There's one wild card spot that goes to whichever team has the best, I think, point differential in terms of their. So yeah, they'll clinch got verbal diarrhea here. So yeah, the Raptors have a plus 53. Cleveland Cavaliers are not eliminated, but they they've lost one game. The Pistons and the Orlando Magic, it's probably between the two of them for Group B. And then for Group C, it's Milwaukee Bucks and the Miami Heat. I don't have a ton of confidence in the Milwaukee Bucks. They won it last year, but they're not as good of a team this year. And Miami is looking quite good. I actually really like what they're doing this season. So I think it could be either of them, and even dark horse New York Knicks. So
yeah, and Miami just got Tyler Hero back, and Milwaukee is kind of sitting Giannis here and there to manage, unless they've been consistently sitting him, but they've been trying to manage, I think, a lower body injury for him, right? So yeah, I'm with you on that. I would expect the Heat to come out of that.
Yeah, I like what they're doing this season. I think Spoelstra has done it again. I watched, I don't know if you guys know Thinking Basketball, but he had a really good video, I think it was him, on the Miami Heat's offense and what they're doing this season, where they're not running any screen plays at all. It's actually pretty cool. You should watch it after this video and after my video. Don't you watch my video before you watch the other video. But yeah, he detailed them, and that was a really good watch. I'm interested to see, the Raptors have not played the Heat. And in fact, they do not play the Heat until, almost Christmas.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely crazy to me because they're in the same conference. But I want to see the Raptors match up against them too. Anywho, that is the Cup. And I think the Raptors have a pretty good chance. Again, they haven't played the Pistons. They haven't played the Magic. They have played the Bucks, but they haven't played any of these teams really that are like in contention to advance. Pistons, Magic, Heat, haven't played any of those teams.
So. Yeah, we don't play the Pistons till the new year. Like it's like February. Like I don't get it, but I think it's looking. I mean, I really don't know how it shakes out in terms of who we would get for the next round at this point. I think there's too much up in the air to even know that.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's I think it goes seeded. It's like whoever has the best point differential. I think the wild card's always at the bottom.
Yeah.
So whoever has the best point differential, I think, in their group stage is at the top, then the second, then the third. And then it's 1v4, 2v3, and then, how a usual bracket works.
So we could end up facing the Cavs potentially if they come out of the wild card.
Yep.
That would
If
be
they come out of
so funny to play them 4 times before you played other teams.
you
Which,
gotta love the schedule makers.
yeah,
I guess.
and like it's playing them multiple times is one of the main reasons we thought that the record would be
Yeah,
closer
not very
to,
good.
yeah, right. And winning all 3 of those is a massive difference, because like we'd be sitting at 8th or 9th or something right now if you didn't pull all those out, right? So
It's jammed up in the middle for sure.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, why don't we get straight to, there was something we were going to talk about RJ's injury, but I want to get
Mhm.
to something that I'm excited to talk about, because I think that you and I are actually, like, we were spitting facts when we were doing our hot takes.
Honestly,
So
yeah.
let me tell you, these are our hot takes. So there were 2 of each. So I did 2 and
Yep.
Steve did 2. And my 2 were: 1, Darko Rajakovic, Coach of the Year. This is all preseason. Okay. So this was before the season started.
Yeah.
Mine was Coach Darko, Coach of the Year. My other one was Grady Dick is traded. That may not be something that some of you want to hear, but I guessed it. I said, I'm seeing which way the wind is blowing. I think that Grady is going to get traded. Yours were pretty good as well. First of all, positive bench unit.
Yeah.
So Steve, like, this sounds like something that is like, duh, like, yeah, of course they're going to have a positive bench. No, you're saying that with hindsight bias. You had no idea whether the Raptors were going to have a good
time
bench.
it had been 4 or 5 years or something since they had a positive bench unit, and like that was just like the net of all the bench without the starters, and it has been just night and day. The bench is actually, for the most part, carrying like these transitional lineups mostly, right? But you've got positive players up and down the entire bench unit, so that has been amazing to see. And to quickly touch on your Darko Coach of the Year prediction, which is looking sweeter by the day. He is now, in terms of Vegas odds, he's 6th behind Mark Daigneault. So that's pretty crazy. I don't understand. Like, I know the Lakers are doing well, but JJ Redick being up that high, who knows? But anyway, Darko's getting some love from the odds makers. It's clearly a lot of other people are starting to agree with what you predicted months ago. So that's looking pretty good.
Looking pretty good. So yours were positive bench rating. And then also, because, like, we have to put this caveat in here, they're changing the All-Star formula so that it is international. The international team gets their own group of players, basically. So if you're on the international team, you can be selected independently. Basically, if you're from somewhere that's not the United States, you have a better chance of making it in. So as a result, Steve predicted that RJ Barrett would make the All-Star team this year. So,
which I said that there would be a couple things that would have to happen for that. You'd need poor records for the Pacers. Yep, that's happening. Pascal, in my opinion, does not have a shot at getting on that, making that 8-man roster, right? Because essentially, assuming health, they're competing for 3 spots, all these guys, right? Because you've got Giannis, Wemby, Jokic, Luka, Shea as the first 5, right? So then there's 3 spots, which Şengün definitely won
for sure. Yeah.
But then my big thing was
Markkanen.
Lowry would be on a team that was so bad that he wouldn't get it, but his stats are so ridiculous.
And they're not even that, the record isn't even that bad. So it's bad, but it's not that bad.
Yeah. So Lowry right now is killing that. Franz was obviously going to be an issue as well. He's playing great. And then, like, I don't know, does Norm get considered as Jamaican now at this point?
No,
maybe, right? I don't know how they do that, right? But
he'd be a naturalized citizen of Jamaica, which is fine. Like, there's no doubt about that. But he was born in the United States, so
so I guess it doesn't.
Yeah,
I guess it doesn't count for that, right? But then I don't know what they consider Cat either, because Cat, like, also kind of floats in the Dominican Republic thing, because he's, like, I don't know, right? So I think
there's a chance. And also, if there's an injury, heaven forbid, but if there's an injury or somebody sits or whatever, he could get it. But so Darko coach of the year, that's like the Raptors have to keep winning, obviously,
Yeah.
but I'm liking that bet so far. The Grady Trady thing, we have to show the other teams his net rating, because right now he's like the net rating king. I don't know about last game. He had a really bad last game. I didn't score at all. But like before that, he was like the best net rating on the team outside of Jamison Battle, who had one of the most insane scoring games of all time. He has the second most efficient 20-point game of all time.
Incredible. I've always said he's a future Hall of Famer, all-timer. And like even like last game, he had limited minutes, right? But I saw like the post-game box plus minus, and he had like a 40 box plus minus. This guy's killing his minutes. It's great. So yeah, and with Jacoby coming along, getting his shot back in order, he even got the start. He was tasked with guarding Donovan Mitchell, and Donovan Mitchell went 1 for 5 or 0 for 5 when Jacoby was his main defender.
Really? Okay, because I was looking at I watched a lot of the possessions.
Yeah.
And you know how the Raptors do it. They don't like you're not on an island.
Yeah.
If they run a screenplay, they will, they didn't always switch, because that's the interesting thing is that I noticed is that they'll switch most things. But I think if they like the matchup, like they like the Donovan Mitchell matchup with Walter. So they would let Walter go around the screen because they felt like he could stay attached and then provide help there.
Yeah.
But there were a couple of switches where like they felt comfortable guarding him with a couple of players like Emmanuel Quickly. Like if they brought a screen over for him, he would switch on to Donovan Mitchell. But it was a really good team effort in stopping Donovan Mitchell, especially the help defense, because when Jacoby Walter, like some of the things, like you want to close out hard on Donovan Mitchell because the guy is like an insane shot maker. And so Donovan Mitchell would use that. He'd get past him. But then in the paint, I remember one possession in particular, Pirtle, Scotty, and Brandon Ingram were all at the rim just with their hands up, contesting the shot. And obviously, he can pass it back out, but he'll try and score through that as well. And he just did not have an efficient night. They just really made it tough for him. So,
and
Jacoby.
He's been one of the hottest players in the league. So pretty cool to slow him down. Yeah, obviously it's not all Jacoby, but great signs from Jacoby. He didn't have a huge like point game or anything, but I think he did his job. He's done what's asked for him. So his improved play, battles utility, Grady has been. It's tough because he has been actually very effective for the way that the half court offense is operating. Like he's just so good at those catch, one pump, attack the closeout, touch paint, and pass it out, and it starts that swing. Like if you look at like most of those really beautiful, like, oh, look, we're the Spurs now kind of plays that happen, a lot of times it's coming off of him initiating it by getting that first paint touch. He's been great with that. There were a couple like transition balls being thrown away, stuff like that, where guys are trying to play into the system, but they don't quite have the ability to like throw it full court like Scotty or something like that, right? So I do think that the Grady on the trade block is still possible because, again, they got to work out his extension. He might be somebody that gets attached with somebody like RJ. Like Phoenix Plazy brings up that RJ is more likely to be traded at the deadline to be an all-star, which honestly, there's a good chance when he's playing well in the system, like the before the last maybe 4 or 5 games, which he still is like playing well, just not hitting shots. It's like he was playing himself into a new contract, but it might end up getting moved, and you might have to attach Grady. And I think one of my 2.5, my kind of half what do we call those predictions, was that we would be trading a first round pick this at the
for
thing.
an upgrade.
So, and it's like if you move RJ as the salary piece, Grady as the enticing along with a pick, you can get an upgrade at that 2 spot. And if you are coming into the deadline and you're 15 games over 500 or something, you're looking at the East and you're like, we could really do something. What are our flaws? maybe that's when somebody like Grady does unfortunately get moved. I still think he has a lot of potential, and I think a lot of other teams believe that too.
Yeah, and there's like his PR, especially after last season, like his start to last season really captured people's attention. That's one of the things that I noticed. Like there was a lot of buzz around the league.
Yeah.
And he was hitting these like really cool shots, and he was like he's a really aesthetically pleasing player when his shot is going and when he's doing his thing and it's looking good. He's athletic. He has like pretty moves. And like there's been a couple of plays that I've been really impressed with him. Like if you remember a couple games ago, he had this like pass to Scotty Barnes, and it was like a tic-tac-toe play where he initiated it. It looked like he was going to throw the ball over, but instead of throwing it over because the defender had his hands up, he switched it midair and threw an under, like a kind of like a bowling ball pass to Scotty Barnes. And Scotty hit Jakob Poeltl for the score. And what you're saying is true. Like when he attacks a closeout, he can make a play. Yeah, there's things to like. The thing that I am concerned with is the shooting.
Yeah.
And this has just been the case since his rookie season. It's like, it looks good. And I know he has an unorthodox like shooting motion, but I think it looks fine. It just does not, it's not consistent enough. It just doesn't go in enough. And
it's interesting.
That's my concern.
He has a really tough shot diet compared to some other players too. Like he gets a lot of grenades and he gets a lot of like curls where not enough separation was created and stuff for him to take it, right? So it's like, if you look at Jacoby's shot diet, it's all catch and shoot.
Yes.
Kind of like release valve, threes, which is great. He's a great catch and shoot shooter. That's perfect. Grady like doesn't get that luxury in the same way. It's interesting.
He has been though. Because like
surprisingly, like I feel like I don't see him hit that many catch and shoot threes for somebody who's supposed to be a shooter.
Yeah, that's my issue. Is that like a couple of games ago, like he said, he's had a couple of games where he's made some 3-point shots. So it's not like it's like a complete disaster, but there are some games where he gets like 3. I remember the other night he had 3 just open corner milk toast catch and shoot threes, spot up threes, and he missed all of them. And I understand like it's a game of variance, especially with 3-point shooting. Like it goes wildly up and down, up and down, up and down. There's just like I'm understanding about that, but I'm looking at the big picture too. Like I'm looking at the big picture, and right now the big picture is not telling me a comforting story. It's not saying like that this guy is going to be long term like a strong 3-point shooter. And he is doing stuff like the defense has gotten better. It's still I'm not going to say like good, but he is playing help defense. He knows where to be. He has got good hands. He knows when to double. He's got a lot of things going for him, but his foot speed, his lateral foot speed is not good. Like in fact, the entire system seems to be set up so that when he is on the floor, they either switch everything or they just immediately provide help. They immediately double on the catch when the player is going, attacking his foot speed. So like that is an issue, but it seems like they've mitigated it. So I'm not that concerned about the defense right now. I think that he's doing enough there. It's really just about the shooting. I need to see this guy hit some shots. I need him to go off and like have one of those nights where like when you have a good shooter, they have those kinds of nights where they're like just banging shots, like 7 shots, like 7 threes made or like 5 threes made where they get really hot. And that's one of my favorite feelings in basketball is like when one of the players are rooting for gets that like super hot. Okay. Why don't we talk about RJ's injury? Because thankfully, I mean, it did make one of the videos that I created this week completely irrelevant because I was talking about like, who can step up and who can take his place. Well, the injury is not that bad. And instead of being out for a couple of weeks, it looks like he's day to day, but they don't think that he's going to be back for Wednesday's game, tomorrow's game. So, I'm glad, but it's still like when you hear knee sprain,
Yeah.
you think that like at least a month. Like
Yeah.
that is the connective tissue in your
Yeah.
knee getting a tear in it, right?
Yeah.
So
Well, what's it? CMB had a MCL sprain and then played 2 games later, 1 game later. Like it was,
we're the new
it's
Pelicans.
yeah, right. But except with a medical staff that can heal everybody. So, like they seem to have avoided the worst, which is good. And it happens at a time where, like, okay, you survived the Cavs game. Now you've got a bit of an easier game. Cool. Maybe you get him back. I'm sure he'll want to be back for the next game.
Oh yeah,
Like
absolutely.
in New York too. He's gonna
Yeah,
get up for that game, right? Like,
for
and
sure.
I think he's gonna rise to the occasion for that game. So I expect him to be back for that. Luckily, especially luckily for him, because like the last thing he wants to do is miss more time in a season that is like he's trying to prove that he's worthy of his next contract. And
Yeah.
if he's the one guy that's missing a lot of time, that makes it a lot easier, right? So
Yeah, absolutely. And like he is having a pretty surprising season.
yeah,
Like a lot of people, like, first of all, if you're just a novice basketball watcher, the statistics are have always been pretty good for
yeah,
RJ Barrett. Like the numbers, stats, the counting stats, he's always been solid there. It's really been like the defense and then the advanced statistics
yeah,
that have been kind of his downfall, especially in the eyes of the national media. They have really kind of like they thought they had figured him out. Like I've been actually going back and forth with a lot of people who, are, NBA generalists who
yeah,
watch the NBA as a whole, not necessarily a fan of a certain team, but they're down on him, really down on him, just saying like this guy
yeah,
sucks. Basically, he's not worth his contract. But like watching him this season, and the advanced stats aren't as good as some of the other players on the team.
mhm,
But at the same time, like I'm watching him and I'm liking what I'm seeing. I think he's playing well. And I think his defense has gotten a little bit better. I think it helps a
yep,
lot for him that the back line defense has been way better
yeah,
this season with Ingram being healthy, Scotty Barnes taking a jump, Pirtle being healthy for most of the season. He's got some help back there. And even Mamu, like
yeah,
he's been pretty good too. Like there's some help around the basket that hasn't been there
mhm,
for a lot of time when he's, been that guy who, has defensive breakdowns. But like if you look at the EPM, I know I use this as an example in some other videos, like the video I made earlier,
mhm,
where I discussed basically his advanced stats. Some of them are bad. So his net rating is one of the lower on the team,
yeah,
which just basically it judges your plus minus basically on the floor,
yeah,
like how many points they score when you're on the floor versus how much you give up. His net rating is positive, but it's one of the lower on the team.
mhm,
The other stats like EPM, which is another plus minus stat, but it sort of compares it to the rest of the league and the
yep,
positions. And also, I think it uses some box score data as
yep,
well. Like he is a positive there. He's in the 79th percentile in terms of players.
yep,
And that's good. That's like a quality NBA player. Like
yep,
that is like close to our all-star level. So
mhm,
like I am actually digging what he's doing this season, and it's
yep.
been a lot better than I think a lot of people have thought he would contribute.
Yeah, he's still like the his PR is in the dumpster no matter what, right? Like he's not gonna get respect from anybody anytime soon. It's like honestly, he even kind of still has had that stink on him from New York ever since. Like he
Yeah,
even when he played better with the Raptors, everyone's like, yeah, who cares? Right? Like
yeah,
they still think of him in that way, but he is playing more efficient. He's got the best box plus minus he's ever had in his career. He actually has a positive one for once.
yeah,
So yeah, like, and these are all things that we were like, if he can just be above average at this, very tenable player to keep on the floor,
yeah.
right? And
He's been ticking all the boxes. Like we said, he
mhm,
needs to be a good shooter. He's been pretty good.
yeah,
He needs to be more efficient at the rim. He's been good there. He
yeah,
needs to add like another sort of like in between game. He added that push shot. The push
yeah,
shot has been pretty good for him this season.
yeah,
And then it just has to be like the defense has to be it so that you're not screwing up every
mhm,
single possession, losing your man.
yeah,
And he hasn't. Like
yeah,
it hasn't been good,
yeah,
but it hasn't been catastrophic.
yeah,
So I think he's having a good season. I'm just, I think other people have to realize that too. So
yeah.
Anywho, I think we have one last thing to do before we take off here, and that is to take a look at the how teams have been overperforming or underperforming their expectations this season. And you know what? I'm just going to copy the image itself. Hold on a second.
Yeah, and this is the overperforming thing is like, it's obviously very validating to us and to fans who get disgusted when we see the way that American media talks about us when they go, this team looks like they're going to be a 33-win team. Looks like they're going to, and I'm like, we won 30 when we were trying to lose games, and then added Ingram, added Colin Murray Boyles, and added Sandro Mamukelashvili, and you think we're going to add 3 wins? Like, that kind of stuff was infuriating. So this is very validating to have the 3rd best in overperforming.
Yep, absolutely. So there's some other teams on here that, like, first of all, I think the Raptors should be above the Pistons, because even though, like, yes, the metrics are saying that, like, nobody expected the Pistons to be this good, but people expected the Pistons to be good.
Yep.
They expected, I think that the most people, generalists, had them making the playoffs.
Yep.
I think they were top 6 in the East on most people's boards. So going from 6 to 1, like, are you kidding me? Going from 11th, like, most people had the Raptors either just outside the play-in or just in the play-in. Going from that to 2nd, that's crazy. They should definitely be number 1 overall. But I will mention that the Suns, what they've done, adding, like, I predicted they would be better when they traded Kevin Durant. And it's not because Kevin Durant is bad. It's because they gutted their team with Bradley Beal and with, like, a bunch of other, they were too concentrated in one type of player. And adding a couple of role players around Booker and just, like, rolling the dice and seeing what they can do has been awesome for them. But they've really outperformed where I thought they would be.
It's interesting because they've only gotten like a half game out of Jalen Green.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that's a good thing for them in terms of winning basketball games.
That's twice we've slandered him this episode, actually.
It's easy. It's low hanging fruit. But Dylan Brooks.
Yes, he's
absolute
awesome.
Revelation. He's been great. It is great to see him doing well. And
culture shifter.
Yeah. And the Grizzlies doing terrible when you realize that he was their culture. When they scapegoated him for poking the bear on LeBron and all of that stuff. They were like, it's your fault that we lost to them.
Show that happened around it.
Yeah, right. And then they completely lost their identity. They don't have anything in the tank, but now Phoenix has that identity. And Brooks has been scoring very well and rather efficiently.
Yeah, he's like almost 25 points per game over his last 5 or something.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about him is that the baseline is always good because he is like one of the best wing and sort of perimeter defenders. And also, like, he can defend bigs and so, like, he's one of the best defenders in the league. Period.
Yeah.
And then his shot waxes and wanes. So his shot is either like can't miss or it's never going in.
Yeah.
But I mean, I used to not like him.
Yep.
And then he played for Team Canada in their qualifier. And I was like, oh, I get it now. Yeah. I get it. He's crazy. Like, it's an act. It's kayfabe. He's not actually like that.
Yeah.
When you see him interacting with his teammates on the bench or in the locker room or whatever, the guy's all smiles. He's silly. He's, he's lifting other guys up. He's not like a malcontent.
Yeah.
He's just puts on this persona, the Dylan, the villain persona in the game. But the thing that pisses me off about him is that he is dirty.
He grabs knees and stuff. Like, he does a lot of, he is a wrestling fan, like a huge wrestling fan. So it's pretty obvious that he's just like leaning into the heel and having a lot of fun with that. Right. So
yeah.
And
he is. Yeah.
Phoenix Plays, he asks in the chat, speaking of Dylan, how are we feeling about the next Olympics with Braun, Curry, KD being retired? Not sure if KD will for sure not be in there, but I think Braun and Curry aren't. What are you thinking about our chances in the Olympics for Team Canada?
Good.
That's what
I've
I'm
been very happy.
thinking.
Well, number one, Zach Edey.
Yeah.
The problem with the team for the longest time has been center play. And I mean, one of the co-captains of the team, like the two co-captains of the team were two centers, Kelly Olynyk and Dwight Powell.
Dwight Powell, yeah.
And Dwight Powell was actually really good for them in the last Olympics. So it's not like I'm slagging the guy. I think he's been helpful for sure. And Kelly Olynyk as well. Not so much last Olympics, but they have required like a true big.
Yeah.
And in the in FIBA rules basketball, it's totally different.
Yeah.
Because there's no 3 in the key. So you can have
no basket interference.
No basket interference. So
what better
giants,
to have exactly.
And not just like guys who can move their feet. That's not as important. You want a guy under a center can just camp out under the rim.
Yep.
You can just have a guy in there. And if the other team doesn't have enough scoring, good luck trying to score around a 7'3", 300-pound angry Canadian.
Exactly.
Zach Edey. So that is a big one.
Yeah. I think it's a good matchup for him against Chet if they're putting Chet in there. Duran is probably their best option to battle with Edey. Yep. But then I'm also thinking, okay, Olivier Ryu, I don't know if I'm saying it right, 7'8" kid, 7'9" kid at Florida right now, right? Guys in the entire
Olivier Rue or whatever.
Yeah, right. If he is good enough to make the NBA, give me that too big lineup. You give me a 7'4", whatever he is, and then a 7'9", guys. Yeah. You can just throw the ball at the rim and he'll just keep his hand there as a second backboard, and he can just bump everything in.
Yeah, I mean Zach Edey can play. I don't know about Olivier Rue. I think that might be, but like the thing is that the Canadian national team, unless they're playing Serbia, will have the best player on the floor.
Yeah.
Okay. And then they're going to have insanely good role players.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that is going to win them a ton of games. They're going to have a real center in Zach Edey, like a guy who's actually got legit size. They're going to have 2 of the best wing defenders, not just like in the world, Dylan Brooks and Lou Dort. Yep. That was like their secret recipe in the Olympic qualifier and in the Olympics, was that you have 2 guys who are literally can guard the best players in the anywhere.
Yeah.
And then, like they've got some solid, other scorers like Andrew Nembhard,
Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
Exactly.
I mean, who knows if Mathurin has put it together, if he's put it together, Shaden Sharp is looking a lot better. He's putting it together. If we've got these kind of scorers coming off the bench, and our very own Jamal Shed said he's trying to get his Canadian citizenship. He knows the Canadian anthem. He's been, he sings it every game, right? And he is trying to become a naturalized citizen. You've got a guard lineup of Shea.
Even Jamal Murray sucked.
Yeah, he
sucked so bad.
He sold that whole Olympics. That drove me crazy.
I was screaming for Nembhard. I was like, please, for the love of God, put in Nembhard, and they never listened. So I just want to talk one more thing about the Thanksgiving index, because we talked about the teams that are good. So the Lakers, Heat, Bulls. I'm not sold on the Bulls at all, but down here, this is what I love to see. Take a look at this.
Is that the Clippers?
Well, take a look at that. Okay.
Oof.
That's what I love to see, guys. Yeah. Steve Ballmer, I know you're watching this stream. You deserve to be down here. You screwed us.
Yep.
And this is karma. Sorry. Mm-hmm. And also, like the Pacers, with no Halliburton and no like they lost their starting center, and there's injuries. Why was
their projection so high? I never got that. They had them projected ahead of us, and I was like, what are you saying? And they had so many teams ahead of us, and I was like, Boston without Tatum, like, come on, be for real. So I'm not surprised to see that down there. Steve Ballmer, that proves cheating doesn't actually get you anywhere. It gets you right gets you right down at the bottom. And if you see the third worst there, the Pelicans, again, what are they just betting on Zion dragging this team? because it seems like if that was what the preseason over-unders was, if it had New Orleans that significantly higher, is that what they looked at when they made that trade for Queen? Like, is
I
that what
guess,
they were
yeah, this
thinking?
is
Like, hey, we're going to be good. Because I think everybody else thought it was crazy when they made that trade because we didn't think they were going to be good.
If Chat GPT ran a franchise right here, the Pelicans.
Yeah.
This is like feeding your like asking Chat GPT. But like seriously though, look, the Lakers, they actually do ask Chat GPT. If you talk, did you hear that story? Which is like low key the funniest story in the NBA is that JJ Redick says that he talks to Chat GPT for 3 hours every day.
He's gonna get like AI psychosis.
That is insane. You have to be insane in order to talk to a computer for 3 hours every day. Like, what about your kids, bro?
For real. And I mean, I saw Daryl Morey had said before that they consult ChatGPT before trades and stuff as well. And I'm like, ChatGPT bases stuff off of what exists on the internet. So it's like, so if we all say as much as possible that they should trade Tyrese Maxey, if we all say it, eventually that'll get through to them and they'll go,
Tyrese
that's
Maxey
what we
is
should do.
overrated. Tyrese Maxey is overrated. Tyrese Maxey is overrated. So go on Twitter tonight.
Spam it.
Forums.
Yeah.
Anything. Say Tyrese Maxey sucks. This is all an illusion. And then Daryl Morey, you'll trade it right to us. So okay. All right, guys. Let me just wrap this up. We'll stop this screen. So I don't know if you guys are tuning in from Twitter. I don't know if you're tuning in from YouTube. We're going to keep this going, I think. We wanted to give it a dry run on Twitter to see if it's worth it. We're getting a lot of people coming and joining the stream right now. So welcome. If you haven't seen us before, we're going to be doing this every Monday at 8:30. Unless there is a game. If there is a game, then we move it back a day. If there's 2 games in a row, I don't know. We'll figure it out. But, let us know. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on YouTube. Do all of that good stuff. Steve at Raptors Shack. Me at Raps Report. We cover the NBA. We cover Raptors specifically. So if you have any questions, just let us know. Thank you for tuning in to the Raptors Report podcast. Steve, do you got anything else to say? Anything to plug?
No, nothing to plug. Just thanks everybody for coming. And I do want to point out Van Hoot. It's a pretty funny joke there. Instead of planting trees, Kawhi is killing them with ChatGPT queries.
Can you believe that? Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. And as always, thanks for tuning into Raptors Report, your source for in-depth Raptors content. Cheers.